close your eyes, running through the night. Only take some back, always out of sight, crowding through the night. Run, you can run, but you'll never hide. The walls are coming, you're running. The walls are coming, you're running. The walls are coming, you're running. The walls are coming.
Hey, good evening to everyone. It is not Sunday night, it's Monday night, obviously, because we played again on the Sunday. And we've done a nice little cover on this one with the Sarabia and Andre and the other player, who I can't remember who I've got on the front of the other one, doing a salute. Oh, yeah, it was Cunha doing a salute. 5 wins in a row. So it's like, for all those that are about to win, we salute you. A bit of a twist on the old gladiator. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. 5 wins in a row. Vitor Pereira, what a job this man is doing. First time we've won 5 in a row in the top flight since 1970. First time we've beaten United home and away since 1979-80 season. And, you know, we face Leicester, don't we, later on in this period. We're going to be talking, as always, about the main points from the game. We've got a couple of guests coming on tonight, and plus we've got some video contributions, and if you want to phone in, you can. We're going to be asking how high can we finish. We're going to be looking at room 101. Again, there is something coming for that. Also, what I want to talk about tonight is the Wolves Anthem. You know, it's been Hio Silver Lining, the Liquidated. We've had Wonder of You. Want to talk about that. And we're going to look ahead to Leicester. And then at the end, we're going to answer any of your questions that you've got. If you want to get on the show and have your 2 minutes, the link to get on the show is in the description below. As always, I want to say a big thank you to the wonderful people at Creation Walls who power Extra Time. They deliver the industry's and latest, most advanced digital solutions. So if you've got a company or a brand, they'll take your online presence and digital capabilities to the next level. www.creationwolf.com. Link is in the description below. We've got a really good lineup tonight. We have young George. How are you doing?
Evening, Matt. I'm all good. How are you?
Oh, mate, good to see you. You well? The family well? The little one well?
Yeah, all good, mate. Keeping me busy. Thank you. Yeah, I'm well after. Well, it's hard not to be well when you consider we've just won 5 on the bounce for. I think it's the first time. It's got to be the first time I think in my lifetime that we've won 5 on the bounce.
If you were born after 1970 in the top division, then That was when it was.
It's uncharted territory, mate.
Uncharted
territory.
And where's there he is?
Unbelievable job he's doing, mate.
Yeah, amazing job. And we've also got Mr. Cheerful Chris, who's turned that frown upside down. How you doing, mate?
Hello, mate. You okay? I'm good.
I'm very good.
Just on George's personal lifetime thing, it's also personal lifetime for me. So that shows how long it is since we won 5 games in a row at top flight.
Well, exactly. And you feeling good? You in a happy mood?
I'm okay.
And as we've gone live on air, there's been some breaking news, hasn't there? Is it right that Baggies have just sacked Mowbray?
I haven't seen it. George mentioned it, but I've not seen anything.
I think they have, you know. I think they've.
As well as just giving the last 2 games.
Yeah, they've announced it. I think the producer saying they've announced it, so that didn't last very long. Of course, looks like they're missing out on the playoffs again. The Baggy Birds, the West Birmingham Baggy Birds, are missing out on the playoffs, and Walsall are trying to blow up as well. My good friend Simon from Walsall Fan TV stressing a lot at the moment. 14 points clear with a game in hand of second, and now they're in the playoffs, but they've still got 2 games to go. They've got Accrington next week, so there's still hope for them. But it seems like they've started losing, both of these sides, and all of a sudden we've started winning. It's like the joys come over to our side. Yeah, go on,
Did you
Chris.
see
George.
Warsaw's goal? Did you see their goal ruled out?
Didn't he do a
They
Thierry
scored in
Henry?
the 100th minute. They scored in, but it got ruled out. But they'd have gone back. They'd have gone back top of the table if they'd have won there. But yeah, they haven't won in about 14 games. But I had a little look at it, and they loaned their best player from Stoke, and Stoke called him back, and that's where the wheels have fell off for him.
That's
Basically,
right. Yeah, he was
Got
banging
his
him
name
in,
there,
wasn't he?
but
He was,
and they called him back, and he just sat on the bench.
I know, which is
That's the
crazy.
kind of run that if you don't arrest it when it comes to the next season, you could be in trouble.
Big top. Well,
That
we all know about that because we look at the momentums, everything, and we look at the way we ended last season and the way we started. And Vita seems determined to end this season as strong as possible. In his press conference in the week, he was mentioned about that. Could you relax after the Ipswich game after being perfectly safe? Can you relax after being safe? He says, I noticed in training the one day after the Ipswich, they were relaxed. We talked about it. They're not relaxed anymore. We focus on the next game. And he's talking about wanting to finish as high as possible. And do you know what? I think when we were 5 points from safety when he took over after that Ipswich game, you couldn't believe that with 6 games to go, we were going to be home and dry, Chris. You're shaking your head there.
No, I mean, it was, let's face it, we were a dire side. It was very poor. It wasn't, it was pretty awful. The team wasn't performing, hadn't performed all season really. If you think about it, I stuck my neck out and said I didn't think we'd win till November. We managed to get a point. That was it, and we left it far too long, didn't we? And I personally thought we'd left it too late and we weren't going to recover from it. But the guy, apart from being a frequent visitor to pubs, he's also a very good football manager, and I think I'm glad we made that selection.
Absolutely. Well, we've all got a smile on our face. I'd say it makes a big change to earlier in the season when it was all doom and gloom, and we're going into games thinking where the next point's coming from. We're going into every game now thinking we can beat anyone. It's crazy. It's just crazy. I'm just reflecting. We had 1 point after 8 games. 1 point after 8 games. I remember Chris at the start of the season saying something that you didn't think we'd have any points, and I remember early doors, and I was thinking, oh, come on, Chris. But we got 1, solid 1, and then we had 9 points after 16 games. And here we are on 33 games, and we're on 38 points. It's just unsafe. In terms of the form table, the last 6 matches, I think we're top. The last 10 matches, we're second. George, what do you put it down to, mate?
What the whole turnaround, or like
yeah,
this 5
I mean,
game
you've done a
winning
little
run?
bit of analysis. You did an article on our on Always Wolves website about Vito. You did something as well last week in the BBC. You've looked into this quite a lot and analysed it and dug deep into it. Obviously Vito Pereira and his team. But what's the key things for you?
Well, have you seen the piece that's come out today? Madley did it for the Athletic, and yeah, and he was basically talking about it. It's quite simple, really. Pereira's come in, and he said that the some of the things that he did was like Gary had stopped the team staying in a hotel together before the home games.
Yeah,
and he brought that back. Yeah, so
and
little things
together.
Eats all those little meals together. That was the other one. So it starts with that. The little things like, getting the squad more tight knit. That was a really interesting piece, actually. It said about how Pereira took the opportunity, because Compton's quite small, just when he was passing players, around the camp, just having a little word with them. And he said a big part of it for him was to build the confidence back up. And one of the biggest things that I think struck me from the article was that he'd said that the first thing Pereira said to the players when he came in was, "You've got enough quality to easily stay up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come here." And if you want to straight away come in and make an impression and let these players know that they're good enough when they'd previously been told that they were playing at capacity and had just got beat by Ipswich, I think that's like the guy just knows the right things to say. So what do I think it comes down to? I think it comes down to a manager who understands man management and is emotionally intelligent and pick these players up off the canvas, because I think we always had enough quality. I mean, you look at our midfield, we've probably got one of the best midfields in the league in that partnership, Gomez and Andre. We have got the quality.
One of those wasn't getting on. One of those wasn't getting on in the team though under O'Neill. Andre wasn't being picked.
Exactly. So to pick players up from the canvas like that, that for me is the biggest part. But it said, hinted at in the article as well that although he comes across Pereira as this, down to earth, nice guy, he'll go to the pub and stuff. It was like saying, don't be under any illusions. He is the authority figure at the club. He does demand respect, and he's a bit of a disciplinarian, which I think when we first were linked with him, we thought we were getting this super disciplinarian, never smiles kind of guy. But he does it in a he's an arm over the shoulder kind of guy, I think, isn't he? But you don't cross him. And I think straight away it mentioned in the article again that the likes of Lamina and even Dawson, there's no grey areas. Like I think O'Neill had become completely lost in the grey areas. He was a people pleaser, if you like. Whereas Pereira knows, the characters that he needs with him. And ultimately he's not going to have his authority challenged. And I feel like the whole club needed that, because we were lost for leaders, and it's leadership, Dave, above anything else. What's changed? Leadership. I think that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, the thing is, one thing I'm going to go on to Chris. One thing I'm always impressed with when I see Pereira, right from the word go, he's had energy. He's had his press conferences have been so much better. He's got a smile. He's got a skip in his step. He looks like he wants to be here. He looks determined. He's got a work ethic. And I just never saw that from Gary O'Neill for a very, very long time. It just looked like a chore to him, and he was just waiting to go where. I mean, Chris, what's your take on you look quite deep into things with Pereira. What's it for you?
I think I mentioned it last week. You mustn't lose sight of the fact that he brought a team of people in with him. They've all got roles. They've all got. They all have a function, and they're all doing the things. When O'Neill was there, they used to sit in the dugout. The three of them used to look at their iPad. Didn't really, this is a much more animated team. It's really driving the players on. They've all got their individual roles, and you can see what they're doing. And so I think Craig's mentioned it before here. Structure. He's given them a template to play from. He's given them confidence, instilled confidence. He's made them a team. They've got unity as a team rather than individuals. Which is where we were. Your guy from the Bournemouth fan channel said that O'Neill had relied on moments of brilliance from individuals to get him where he'd done. And in a part, I think he probably was doing that at Wolves. Unfortunately, the individuals have got fed up with him and weren't really bothering anymore, I don't think. And I think, this manager's come in, he's shut things up. He's weeded out maybe some of those that were major contributors to that bad feeling that was happening in the camp, and he's moved them on. And some of those are surprising. I wouldn't have particularly put Dawson down as a bad apple myself, but it became clear that he wanted him out of the first team squad. So yeah, I mean, he's done that. He's identified where the root causes are. He's treated it and gone on, given them a plan and structure to play from, and installed them in confidence to play it. And we're reaping the rewards from that. I can't remember the last time. Probably remember back to Nuno that I went into every game thinking we were going to win.
I know. And we've got the belief there, and it's great to see. Even Nuno never won 5 in a row in the league. And Vitor Pereira, I mean, I've had people putting in the comments, he needs a statue. It's way early for that, but like the signs are really, really good that under this manager, if he is supported by the board, we could have something special on our hands here, and really could be, the next golden era for Wolves potentially. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, but George, let's talk about the game yesterday. It wasn't a best game. HJS97 makes a really good point here. Miss Bellegarde yesterday is underrated. I think he was underrated, but I don't think he's underrated anymore. Vitor Pereira again seems to be getting the best out of him, and I think we did miss him yesterday.
Dave, I wouldn't say he's underrated. I don't think he showed anything, to be honest.
Do you think that was because he was under Gary O'Neill? Gary O'Neill did play him, but he
was used in the right way. Yeah. I don't think the manager at the time used him in the right way. So I don't think we underrated him, because he wasn't given the opportunity to show what he can do, which Pereira's done that, and now I was one of the biggest critics of him. He was rivaling Norway for my number one useless player in the squad, and he's a different player under this manager. And there's a number of players that this manager's kind of moved on like that, which is a lot for him. Sorry.
Absolutely. George, do you think we missed Bellegarde? I mean, of all of the games that we've played in this period, I thought we were quite sloppy yesterday. I thought we lacked a little bit of our normal zest that we'd had recently. I thought defensively we did really well. We dealt with all the set pieces, and the irony is we scored one. I mean, under Gary O'Neill, we'd at least conceded 3 goals from set pieces. Totti Gomez, when Santi got nutmegged and Hoyland was through on goal, he sprinted back like a madman and blocked the pass, and then made that a great tackle. Is that a sign of the discipline and the fight that Vitor has installed in the team? And how much do you think we missed Bellegarde in there? Because I thought Cunha did okay, but he didn't have. I don't think he was. I mean, he got the free kick, which was great. Didn't do a lot else really during the game.
Yeah, I think. I mean, a little bit of perspective to think we'd be sat here, before Cunha got his ban, and saying after 5 or 6 games later we'd be saying we miss Bellegarde when Cunha's coming in his place is just unbelievable, and testament to Bellegarde really how he's come on. Just on what Chris was saying about the role he's playing and the role he played under O'Neill. I agree with Chris. I don't think he was underrated. I don't think he'd shown enough, actually. I don't think he'd actually shown us what he could do until recently. If you look at the role he was playing under O'Neill, he was still playing as part of a front three. He never got into the midfield, really. He was part of a front three, but he was obviously a lot wider. So the front three at the minute now, they're more inside forwards, aren't they? So Manetzi and Bellegarde, they're supporting the midfield all the time. It's a much more central role, which I think suits Bellegarde, because he's got that. And he's not. I don't actually see him as a wide player. I don't think he's tricky enough to be an out-and-out winger. He can pull out a good cross now and again, but you get that opportunity playing the inside forward role. So I think this role actually suits him perfectly, and I think he'll be like a staple, someone who stays in the rebuild, because I think we're going to have a bit of a rebuild. But yeah, we definitely missed him against United. I think he ties a lot of things together. I think at the end of the day, you take him and Manetzi. I think Manetzi's a little bit more of does the dirty work, doesn't he? He'll grind it out. And then Bellegarde does that as well. He works hard, but he's slightly more technical than Manetzi, and he ties it together a little more. You saw Cunha come in, who's obviously technically a lot better than Bellegarde, but it shows that role can't be fulfilled unless you're willing to do both. We know Pereira is all
Bellegarde as well. He's a little bit like a terrier, isn't he? Even when he nips away at you constantly. Yeah. George,
which is key.
For the
high press.
You shouldn't underestimate the effect that Manetzi and Bellegarde had with Larson. taking his running away from him, so that he was able to last longer in the game, and that's why we've seen him sort of raise his game, because he's not running after lost chances all the time. So that and as you've mentioned, with Kuna, he wasn't doing that yesterday. It's you get a different person there. So that breaking down, chasing. I know he intercepted for a goal against the last home game, but it's slightly different how he plays. So yeah, but I think that's what we're going to see from our midfield and forwards next year.
Well, it's exciting times, isn't it? Chris, what sort of points do you want to, from the game yesterday, do you want to make out? Now, the other thing that we haven't really, I didn't really talk about on the reaction, and I should point out that Sarr got injured in the warm up. Sam Johnson is still AWOL with not being. I know they give reasons, and I think his wife's had a baby, and he's been ill about 5 times and stuff like that. He's been on the bench a few times, but Leeds are rumoured to be interested in taking him for 10 million. Obviously, he's upset that he's come in. Talked about this. But again, he wasn't in the matchday squad. Dan Bentley came in yesterday, and it's a big occasion for him playing at Old Trafford. And I thought he never let us down. I thought he did exactly right what he needed to do. He made a couple of saves. I thought he punched well with the crosses. He commanded his area. Even some of his passes out from the back were quite good. George, it's worth noting that, isn't it? Because he was just expecting to sit on the bench, and all of a sudden he's in between the sticks.
Yeah, fair play to him for that. I mean, I'm not getting carried away. I still think we need some serious reinforcements in the goalkeeping area, to be honest, mate. But yeah, he stepped up well. Let's be honest, yeah, he didn't have really anything to do, did he? I think he had that one save where he kind of palmed it out. But there's nothing wrong with that. He was solid enough. But our defence was, we were sloppy at times. But I think we actually got drawn into how poor United were. They were giving the ball away.
You think we were dragged down to their level?
Yeah, I honestly think that's what happened. We were just dragged down to that level, and it was just tit for tat. Whenever we lost the ball with a sloppy pass, like, we literally won it straight back, especially in the second half. Like, they had a couple of moments, but it was actually a good game for him to come in, because he kind of had next to nothing to do. But no, fair play to him. He didn't look shaky on the ball. I will give him that, because that's the one thing. If you're not going to be busy, yeah, and you're coming in, you could look a bit shaky on the ball, which can then put the nerves into the defence. But there was none of that. He looked assured. He stepped up. He spoke well after the game in his interview. So fair play. And at the end of the day, that's what a backup keeper's for, isn't it? To come in, when you need it, and step up. And unfortunately, that's everything that Johnston hasn't been this season. Whether he was meant to be coming in as number 1 or number 2, in the end, he's done neither of those roles. Okay, if we needed a number 2 for Sarr, then he's got to be stepping up for games like this. But obviously, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't think anyone does. But I think he just needs this move to Leeds, and let's put it behind us.
You know what? From Sam Johnson's point of view, you can understand his frustration, and that he thought he was going to come in, but you still got to be professional about it. We don't really know. I guess we'll find out at the thing. He wants to go and be the main man. I think Wolves will want to recruit the 10 million. If he goes to Leeds, because, looks like they're going to be promoted, everyone's happy, and then he can do what he wants. I mean, Chris, what have you got to say about Bentley and Johnson? What's your thoughts?
I think Bentley showed yesterday what a stupid purchase Johnson was. To be honest, I think it underlined, why did we go and waste £10 million in January when we were really, really, in trouble and needed to invest properly. We just wasted money there, and it doesn't help the player. It doesn't help us. You now got an unhappy player there that doesn't want to be around the place, causing problems, and another one there. I just don't understand why we got him in. I mean, we do need to strengthen in that area. I think I said last week. I think we need to, strengthen in the goalkeeping area. I don't think Bentley, although he did well yesterday, is our answer as a long-term number 2. I'm still not sure Sar's going to stay either. But
Well, absolutely.
He did well yesterday.
It's all to be said. Well, we're better late than never. She'd managed to be able to join us. It's the golden girl herself, Lucy. Thanks for joining us, mate. I'm glad that you could make.
Welcome.
You've got a big welcome from everyone in the chat there. We've just been talking about the job that Vita Pereira has been doing, where we were in the season, and we were just talking about how we missed Bellegarde yesterday, and of course Dan Bentley. We were just on the goalkeeper stepping in. So it'd be interesting to hear your take on how you're feeling about that. Can you believe 5 games in a row as well?
It's in a way it's quite shocking because it's something that we weren't expecting. I thought it was an all-round kind of good game. At the end of the day, we were playing their babbies. It wasn't the greatest from them. They only had
a couple of players that was like from the thingy. They don't forget they brought on Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, and Dalot before.
Yeah, but they might have, but they didn't show their skills, did they? Come on,
no.
It was very, very bland play from them, and unfortunately, when other teams play bland, so do we.
I think that's what George was saying. We've been dragged down to their level.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave,
exactly.
Just on that as well. I was just going to say, sorry, Lucy. You said about them playing the kids. I saw. Did you see that tweet that Ryan Leicester put out about
£400 million worth of players?
Their starting lineup. Yeah, Anana 50 mil, Lindelof 35, Dorgu 30. Yoro 62 mil, Ugarte 50 mil, Hoyland 77 mil. So
money doesn't always pay, does it?
No,
money does not
I actually
always
thought those
pay.
2 young lads were. I thought
the better
players.
players.
Were the best players on their team. To be fair, so that shows.
I agree.
Yeah, and we bring on Rodrigo Gomez. How old is he? 19.
That lad, I'm telling you now, is going to be legendary status. I absolutely love him. Every time he comes on the pitch, he literally just transforms the team, and I'm well excited to see how he develops. I mean, I'm not being funny. He's fantastic now. Imagine in a couple of years, he
plays with a smile.
Going to be Neto without the bloody injuries.
He plays with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
And and to be fair, Chris Sarabia, he's had his knockers as well, hasn't he? He stepped up the last 2 or 3 weeks when he's had to do that, and he stepped up, and that was a fantastic free kick, top bin. All the set pieces.
It was very technical.
Yeah.
It was a lovely kick. I mean, was it exact? Was it his first touch? Did he get it?
I think he'd been on for a few minutes.
Third touch.
I don't know whether the first 2 were putting the ball down, but
it was. I was kind of confident he was going to score, to be honest. I was watching it. I said, Kuhn's not going to take this. Sarabia's going to take it. It looked just right for Sarabia. It kind of Declan Rice took 2 free kicks against Real Madrid, and it kind of I had the same feeling about him when he was playing the other week. He was going to score. So I don't. Yeah, it was just a perfect position for him. It was a perfect delivery, and I mean, there's been some criticism of the keeper, but he wasn't going to stop that.
No. I think someone put out. I think it was Goldberg that he's clipped with his watch along, having a go at Anana, saying he should have saved it. And then right at the end, he goes, actually, no one's stopping that. To be honest, it was great.
I think they're ignoring the pace of the shot. I mean, it wasn't right in the top corner, but for the keeper to react and stop that with his hands, he's not gonna. It was everything he needed to do.
Absolutely. And by the way, just as we're recording this, Forest are beating Tottenham at Tottenham 2-0, and they've had a goal disallowed as well. It's like, blooming hell, Spurs, man. They are like...
That'll do.
And Popsicle. We're going to come back on match at the man of the match performance rating and moment of the day, but we've got a couple of our phone-ins. First of all, we've got Chris from Norway, followed by Noah from California. Let's hear what they have to say.
A well-known football philosopher once said, "First the points, then the pints." He may have meant pints in the winning tankard. The winning tankard, so long underused, gathering dust, is now barely out of the dishwasher before it gets used again. This is Chris from Oslo in Norway after the fantastic 1-0 win at Old Trafford. A game where, quite honestly, our goalkeeper ain't had to make a save. Look, you know what? Is that the best performance recently? He really, really isn't. We weren't playing great opposition, it has to be said, but I don't care. Any win at Old Trafford is to be celebrated, and we will. We all will. Look, you know, we did what we had to do in the game, didn't we? I would say. Generally, but I thought we started well, but then Man United came into the game and they had much of the ball. The first half particularly is notable for how many small free kicks they got, how many decisions they were given was quite incredible. But we've seen it quite a lot recently, haven't we, this kind of thing, but yet again. But again, you know, the referee was different second half. I wonder again, and this has happened before, the referee gets told by an assessor at half-time to tone it down, because we saw it different in the second half. Luckily, first half, it didn't cost us. Look, from a neutral's point of view, that game wouldn't be anything you would remember. However, we are not neutral at all, and we rejoice in that. Game management, yet again, by Vitor, brilliant. The right substitutions at the right time, and as soon as that free kick was given, we were saying, that's perfect for Sarabia. Two keepers aren't stopping that. Absolutely brilliant. You know, this is 5 wins in a row now in the top level. You know, last week we knew that it was since 1972 the last time we won 4 games in a row. Now I don't know how long it is since we've won 5 games in a row, but I'm sure we'll find out over the coming days. Man of the match, Totti Gomez, absolutely brilliant. What the levels he's gone up, the level they've all gone up. It's another brilliant weekend. We've had the tough times this season. It's been difficult. Let's enjoy the good times. It gives me great pleasure to say Manchester United 0, Wolves 1.
Dave, Noah here from Monterey, California. So it ends Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1 at Old Trafford. It's now 5 consecutive Premier League wins in a row for Wolves. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely buzzing. Before I get to the game itself, I do want to mention a few stats/facts that probably have already been mentioned before on the show, but, you know, it's okay. Reiterate them because it's important in the context, I think. It is our first time winning 5 matches in a row in the top flight since 1970, which happened under Bill McGarry. It is our first double over Manchester United since 1980. And us winning condemned Manchester United to their 15th Premier League loss, which is the first time that's happened in a season in the top flight since 1990. Absolutely incredible. History tumbling down in Manchester yesterday. And overall, it wasn't our best performance, was it? Going forward, we looked just couldn't really get around United in any way. But Sarabia comes on, fantastic free kick. Cunha provides a little moment of quality as well on the run, gets fouled, and Sarabia does the rest. Overall, even though United probably created the best chances, I think we did fairly well to defend. Of course, Dan Bentley coming in for an injured Jose Sa in the warm-up. Credit to Bentley. I thought he commanded his area very well. Even though he wasn't tested, he just looked comfortable, and distribution-wise looked very good. In terms of man of the match, I'm going to have to give it to Totti. That one challenge he put in the second half where it looked like Højlund was away after he had dusted Agbadu, which is a rare instance of that happening. Just absolutely fantastic. And yeah, a chance to make it 6 in a row against Leicester. I mean, who's to say we aren't going to do that with how Leicester are playing at the moment? Yeah, just incredible. And it is on to Leicester next weekend. So anyways, enjoy the 3 points, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week. And always Wolves.
Thank you for Noah and for Chris for sending in their video contributions. We do have Scott backstage that wants to come on shortly, I believe. And we've got a couple more video contributions that's coming in. Chris, I'm going to go to you first. Lee Moore Windows, man of the match, Fox at Shipley performance rating, Parkside moment that made you smile. What are you going for?
I think the Parkside moment made me smile. I think it's got to be Sarabia's goal. When you see somebody stand up and execute something that's exactly what they need to do, and having the presence to not let Kuna take it and say, no, I'm taking this, and put it exactly where it needs to go. So I think that's my Parkside Dental moment of the match. What else do you want? A rating, match rating?
Yes, please, mate.
Yeah, I think it's hard not to give it a 7 because we went away and we won. We kept a clean sheet, and I think on that basis I'll give it a 7. But probably our least fluid performance of the last 5 or 6 games. And I think you're right. I think we were dragged down in our performance because the opposition was support, and it's really must be concerning for United fans that, as I said earlier, the 2 best players on the pitch were 2 kids making their debuts or almost making their debuts, who looked, the lad Amos was fantastic. So I would give it a 7. Man of the match is difficult. I get the Totti, but the challenge. You could also say keeping a clean sheet at Old Trafford as a standing keeper is match worthy, but the 2 lads in midfield, I think, are the things that the engine room that's just driving us on, and I think I've got to give it to Andre. I thought he was fantastic yesterday. He was everywhere. He was tackling. He was winning the ball, freeing things off. Was unfairly booked by the rather poor Rob Jones, which is a whole different story. You'll talk about him. So I'm going to give it Andre.
Good shout, mate. Good shout. Lucy next. Man of the match performance rating. What made you smile?
Man of the match for me, Totti. All day long at the back, he was absolutely sensational. I mean, there was quite a few that I could list that played well yesterday. Even though it was a very boring match, they played well as a team. But Totti stood out for me. He was just there every single time it went back. That's why Bentley didn't have many saves to make, because the defence was absolutely fantastic yesterday. So yeah, Totti. I'm going to go for a 7, I think, because it could have been a lot better. But overall, I'm just happy with the win. The boys still played with heart. Excuse me, my son's trying to ring me. But I was well impressed overall with the performance. And And moment of the day, yeah, it's got to be the goal. I was very nervous when he blew that whistle. I thought, oh God, here we go. Who's going to take it? And as soon as I saw that Sarabia was stepping up, I said to the blokes round me, "You watch, this is going in. This is going in, and this is going to win the game." And the bloke in front went, "Sure, all be silly bugger. This, you don't know what you're talking about." As soon as it hit the back of the net, he turned around. He went, "Who are you? Can I have the
Stop
lottery
calling
numbers
it
for next
Whiskey
week,
Lucy.
please?"
I know it's funny enough. Actually,
was.
with the people that I was with, like watching it with, as the game went on, I actually said 5 minutes before the goal, I think we're gonna nick this 1-0. And it just had this sense that it was going to happen, didn't you? When we got they had so many close calls and chances and what have you,
Yeah.
and we've seen it from our point of view where we've had a few chances, half chances, and we've not taken it. You just think we're going to pay for this, and it's nice to be able to give it out the other way, isn't it, Lucy?
Yeah, it was special. Very special, Mum. I mean, I'd had a fantastic day overall anyway, because with the Hatherton Wolves, on the coach, we'd had a fantastic day. Went to Altrincham, I found some fantastic pubs to stop in, and it was all cheap and cheerful, but it was bloody brilliant. Really, really good day.
Perfect way day, Lucy.
It was. It really, really was. It really was. It was brilliant. And my brother's only away day this season as well. So, and he paid for me because it was an early birthday present. So, cheers, Rob.
Nice one. George, over to you, mate.
So I'll go man of the match. We've had Andre. I'll give it to Gomez, who I thought was equally as good. I thought the pair of them in there both basically did the same job in just dominating that midfield, winning the ball back as soon as we lost it. I mean, second half, it was ridiculous. We'd just play a sloppy pass and then we'd just win it straight back. They were incredible. Incredible, those two. So I'll give it to Gomez. Moment of the match, I will say, or moment of the day, I will give it to Pereira coming out after and saying he's too tired for a pint today, and then rocking up at Wetherspoons anyway 4 hours later. What a bloke. So I'll give it to that as my moment of the day. And then performance rating. You know what? I thought we managed the game well. I thought it was one of those slow-paced, kind of on the beachy kind of games. But we found a way to win it. We didn't look shaky. We looked solid. And like you, Dave, I always felt like we was going to nick it. I really did. So I'm going to give it a solid 7.5.
That's a nice solid number. Yeah, I think that's fair comment from everyone, to be honest. I mean, you can almost give it to Joe Gomez every week at the moment, because he's just he is so key to us going forward next year. And God forbid they sell him in the summer. Seriously, there's no money for me. I mean, we talked about it. We know that Cunha's probably going to go. I mean, the latest is apparently Fabrizio's dropped a Fabrizio bomb that he's talking terms with United. There's going to be linked. There's all this speculation. He's going to go. We know that. Ryan Aitnuri might go. Chris will be very sad about that. Pablo Sarabia will probably go. Semedo.
Guedes.
Mate, Guedes potentially.
Will go.
But so there might be a bit of a change in the guard in the forward positions and stuff. But and there's definitely a big summer ahead. But you cannot sell your two midfield generals, Andre or Gomez, because they literally make this team tick in the midfield, and they work so well together. And I just think there's no money really that should be able to buy them. They should be just totally not for sale this summer. So we'll talk about this a lot over the next few weeks and months, no doubt about it. And I think we've said it all along. The real look is going to be now on the board. The board on what they do with season ticket prices. Now the the rumor is that they are going to be holding season ticket prices, and they won't announce that until after it's mathematically safe, and we are mathematically safe. So I won't be surprised if we hear something imminently on that, and they should, and let's hope that they do. And then the other thing is what happens in the summer with the summer transfer window, and they've got to get it right, because we've got something going here. I've got young Scott that wants to come on and give his 2 minutes. So here's Scott. Hello, Scott. Hi, Scott. Scott. Hello, Scott. Earth call is. I don't know what's going on there. If you listen to on the podcast, all we can see is Molineux Stadium. Here he is there. Hello, mate. Fancy joining us?
Oh, sorry. I was just complaining about how bad the laptop is because it's just keeps on crashing, honestly.
Who you were complaining to at this time of night? Were you on the phone to Dell or to Apple or something?
Boris.
Who were you complaining to?
No, to Jay's, because why not?
He's complaining to me like usual.
Hi. Didn't know you were joining.
I don't know. Yeah. Here I am.
You've got Jade in there as well. We can't see Jade though. Anyway, Scott, what would you like to say?
Are you not joining? Are you joining in? Well, I'd just like to say that honestly, first half I thought was quite boring. I think I could have fell asleep. But the second half got more increasingly like tension wise, and we scored. So all in all, was a good day of work.
Oh my god, no!
No,
it's crashing.
I know it's crashing.
I'm gonna crash out. Oh my god, I'm gonna crash out. Oh my god, it's crash out.
Okay,
oh
Scott,
God.
we're getting a bit.
Oh my god.
Scott, we're getting a bit interfered. You could just stay on point there with what you were saying.
I told you.
Yeah, no.
It was just breaking up.
It seems like we've lost Scott there. Unfortunately, they're having issues with their laptop. So let's go over before we go on to the next segment to hear from Azia in Italy and Dave over in New York. Let's hear what they have to say.
From Parma here. 15 points out of 15, the first time in decades, and Vitor Pereira's got was doing very good lately. I wish it was the start of the season, but better late than never. At least we're not finishing the season in relegation zone, risking the relegation zone or in shame and stuff. We all know we're not going anywhere this year. We have 38 points alongside with West Ham and Everton. So we're not going anywhere, but at least we're finishing the season in a good way and improving. We improved so much since the start of the season last year. Anyway, today's match was quite entertaining. I saw two teams playing. So not the active team attacking and the passive team defending and stuff. We actually risked 3 or 4 times, and the way I see it, it was pure luck for us because Fernandes and Garnacho kicked the ball way over the net. Otherwise, it would have been in because Fernandes especially is a very great player. And let's say we risked a lot, but just take this 1-0 and bring it home. Sometimes we're unlucky. Today they were unlucky. And man of the match, of course, Sarabia, because that is definitely the goal of the week. And definitely the goal of the week. So let's hope for another 3 points in the next one at home against Leicester. Season is almost over, so let's hope for another great match. Bye, guys.
Calls here outside of the legendary McHale's. 5 in a row. Did we ever think when we were all traipsing out of Molineux depressed, frustrated, angry, and every other negative emotion you can think of after we'd lost to a last-minute Ipswich Town header in December, that we would be where we are today, winning 5 in a row for the first time since, I don't know, 1300s or whatever the hell it is, and be level on points with Man United and looking up rather than down. I mean, what a turnaround, and Pereira deserves all the credit. I always thought our squad, our team was way better than where we were at. Really I felt like all we needed to sort out was the defence. Stop giving up 2 or 3 goals a game, and I thought we'd be safe. But he's just taken it to the next level. Agbadou is a phenomenal signing. Even Totti has stepped it up today. I think, was it Garnacho or Hoyland got past Agbadou, and Totti went flying across the pitch. It looked like a guided missile coming across the penalty area, closed down Hoyland, and then got a perfect sliding tackle in. I mean, he was immense. I don't think there were any bad performances today individually. It's just as a team, we looked like we didn't know what we were doing going forward. It seemed very flat. Whether that's the, hey, we're almost safe, so we don't have to try as much subconscious, I don't know. But that was the only disappointing thing. But, you know, they always say a sign of a good team is when you win, even if you don't deserve to. And I wouldn't say we deserve to lose today, but I don't think we really showed that much going forward. But Sarabia comes on, brilliant free kick, wins us the game. And, you know, he sort of won us the game against Ipswich. He did against Tottenham last year. I think he gets a lot of flack. I think he's clearly a really class player, but to me he doesn't do it often enough. But credit to him today, he got us the points, and we're looking up. So we can really enjoy the rest of the season. We're mathematically safe now, and hopefully we build on this in the close season. And, you know, yeah, Cunha's probably going to leave, but let's spend the money wisely. Let's back for Pereira, and let's build on this and stop this cycle of, hey, we had a decent season, sell our best players, fall apart, struggle, get worried, and then eventually stay up and then do it again, right? That cycle honestly only ends one way, and it is not with Wolves' Premier League team. So we need to get some momentum, and we need to build for next season based on the amazing work that Pereira's done. So anyway, points then pints, and talk to you next week. Not the Wolves.
Absolutely fantastic comments again from our international contributors there. Absolutely brilliant. We're going to change tack a little bit now. Subject that I want to talk about, and that is the match day experience. And it's something that's been brought to our attention that we just want to ask everyone's opinion on. And that's the chat as well. I'm going to go to Chris first, followed by George, and then Lucy. But you guys in the chat can contribute to this. And that is Wolves' anthem. At the moment, it's the song that we sing most is, of course, Hi-O Silver Lining, Hi-O Wolverhampton. In the past, it's been the Liquidator. I know there's a lot of people that, you know, would love to have the Liquidator as well. And we've got Wonder of You. But what I want you to do, each one of you, is park the Liquidator, park Wonder of You, park Hi-O Silver Lining. Forget them in the chat and stuff. If you could have a song that you think could be a song that the Wolves fans could sing just pre-kickoff, and it wasn't any of those three, have you got a suggestion? Because I know there will be people listening to this. Chris.
Hard for me not to say Liquidator Day, because I'm from that generation that's what I see, I hear. That's what I think is our song. But you know, I think you know it'd be nice if somebody could. I mean, Arsenal came up with a song, didn't they, which they sing now before the game, which is quite good. It'd be nice if somebody could put something together, a new thing for us to grasp hold of, and it definitely wouldn't be Sweet Caroline. But yeah, it'd be nice if somebody could pen something. We've got a lot of musical talent in our supporters, haven't we? You know, we've there's quite a lot of there, so you think they could get something. But Carl's just beat me to it. The one I would play is the Wonderful Wolves.
Yeah, that's Wonderful Wolves winning all the way. Wonderful Wolves, we're gonna win today. Play at home or play away. Barnwell's
Please
Army.
sings it better than you, Dave.
Yeah, Wolves we're gonna win.
Yeah,
today.
that's
I remember that one. Yeah, that was the League Cup final song.
Yeah. Melly sang that better than you. He could come on and tell you a whole hours long story about that one, Dave, if you get him on.
Absolutely. Great. Okay, George, any thoughts on this?
I'm muted, mate. Sorry. I'm going to say,
Sound of silence.
Are they changing it? I quite like IO Wolverhampton, to be honest. I just like the simplicity.
I'm not saying
everybody knows the words.
Changed. I'm just saying it's a topic of discussion.
I like IO Wolverhampton. I like everyone screaming Wolverhampton at the top of their lungs. I like the fact that it's Wolverhampton as well, that we scream, not Wolves. I just like the fact that it's a city and we say the name of the city. I just like that. The Liquidator, so when I was a kid, it was always IO Wolverhampton. So what kind of year did it change from the Liquidator? I first went 2005 and it was IO Wolverhampton when I first went. When did it change from the Liquidator? What year?
I'm not sure what year it was, but the reason it was changed
the lyrics.
Or something, wasn't it? So it was inciting.
Well, it was the language and stuff and things like that, really. I think that had a lot to do with it. Obviously, I think Chelsea, people talk about high-o silver lining and Villa play it. I think Sheffield Wednesday play it, but equally the Liquidator, the Baggies play it. When we go to play Chelsea, it's played there. So again, it's not unique to Wolves, is it? Either of those, really. That's
I think the difficulty is like a whole lot of love. Yeah, I was thinking that, and I've just seen it in the comments as well. But the difficulty is like, what part are we going to sing that's as simple as just screaming Wolverhampton at the top of your lungs?
Well,
I don't think we can actually beat that. Really,
I know. I think the whole lot of love, actually, the remix, I do quite like that.
What would we sing, Dave? What would we sing? The whole song?
You sing it, don't you? When they come out of they come out of the stadium, and then we sing. It's the song after that, isn't it? That's High-O Silver Lining. They come out to that, and then we're singing it. But I do
it's like a video, isn't it? There's a graphics and
absolutely.
It comes on before they do the Premier League anthem, doesn't it? It's like a little sort of warm up.
Here's one here.
I play Kashmir, don't they?
Paul Harris, remember it being "I Love to Go a Wandering" as well. I mean, and the Wonder of You. I mean, that's special to me and my dad, to me and a lot of people, because that is historical and it was brought back, and they've dropped it down the order further and further down. So it was played when a lot closer to kick-off, and then it's been pushed back and back and back, and then the last home game they binned it completely. And that's a historical song. Have you got any thoughts, Lucy?
The only one that comes to my mind, I absolutely love the ones that are played already. So I'll sing my heart out to whatever, to be honest, regarding Wolves. But I don't know, that song that sings Black and Gold.
Black and Gold. Yeah, that's I know that one.
Black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. That ringing out round the Molyneux, because it's so definitive of us. I think that'd sound pretty awesome, to be honest.
Yeah, okay, that's some good ones. That's some good ideas. And like, if you're watching this back up on the catch up as well, put it in the comments. The thing with me with the Liquidator, I can understand that it's a bit. I find the Liquidator and the argument over the colour of the shirt, it's kind of the same argument. It's like, it ain't proper gold. it's a yellow. It's yellow. Well, it ain't yellow. It's if you put it next to blooming Norwich or Watford, it ain't yellow. It's a brighter gold. I think it's similar to the gold of the 40s. But depending on your era, you've got a certain colour of Wolves kit that's more orangey, and I think the Liquidator is a bit like that. It's from a certain era. It's like, oh well, that was our song. The other thing about the Liquidator for me, I don't know why we need to bother about singing about them lot down the road. It's like, who are they? It's like, I think when we sing the Liquidator, for me, forget the language and stuff like that. It's like singing about West Brom. Why do we want to make our own? The first thing we sing about before we start kickoff about them. They can sing about us. We don't need to bother about them. That's my thing. We've gone past them. So why even give them any acknowledgement at all? They're down in the Championship. They're going to stay there for a little bit longer. Go on, Chris.
That Love to Go a Wandering song, I think it's called The Happy Wanderer.
Yeah.
I think it was actually sang by the Beverly Sisters.
Okay.
I think that's why we played it. I think it's going back to that sort of era.
That's fantastic. And if anyone has got us on socials, Always Wolves, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook. If you've got any ideas and links to any YouTube videos with some songs, send them to us. Again, equally put them in the comment section below. It's certainly something to think about what you'd like if it wasn't one of them three. You know, if it was something fresh and something different, what would it be? So there's a song that I thought about that we sang very briefly in the promotion year, and it was what was it called now? I mean, I literally had it. The Impossible Dream. Remember that?
Yeah.
When we
no the song.
The Impossible Dream. We that promotion year we had it on, and then that got stopped as well. I also kind of like who sings Ring of Fire? Down, down, down.
Johnny Cash.
Ring of Fire. If you could put some words to that, that would be kind of rousing. I don't know. I think that could kind of work as well. I'm thinking. Yeah, Yam Yam here has said The Impossible Dream. So, bang your ideas, put them together, send them in, have a look. I'm going to put something out on socials as well for people to put some comments on. But
that Kashmir one's good, isn't it? That still plays now, doesn't it? The Kashmir.
Yeah.
That's good. Where does that go in there?
I can't think of how it goes, but I know they do play.
That's a good one for building up the
guitar, yeah.
Atmosphere, though, that is. Kashmir.
What about the Venga Boys?
We like to party. We like to party. Well, I'm not sure about the Venga Boys, Chris. I know you're a big fan. Or it could be.
I'm definitely not a big fan, Dave. I know somebody who is.
Mate, you've been to you've got the Venga Boys' greatest hits. And you've been I've seen you at a Venga Boys concert.
Careful, I do have video evidence.
Anyway, guys, that's a little thought there. You know, Ring of Fire. Someone's saying about that as well, which is quite a good. Someone's put the theme to the Egg song. I don't know what that is. That song puts fear into the opposition. It's a match of a whole lot of love and Kashmir that we come out to. That's yeah. But there you go, David. David Smith, if you've just joined, we have been talking a lot of football. This is still to talk about football and Wolves. It's a topic about the match day experience and giving you opportunity to get involved with that. Talking about that, we are on Room 101. We will get back to talking about the football in a second, but Room 101 this week, Lucy.
Dave, I've got to go. My battery's literally just about to die.
Oh, she's copping out there. All right, Lucy.
Love you all. Always Wolves.
Always Wolves. So Room 101 this week, Chris, and the chat. If you could put any song into Room 101, what would it be and why?
Okay. First off, this is a song I absolutely hate. I think it's more about the lead singer than the band. one of the people in the band I absolutely love, and I've got some of his stuff now, and I've been to see him. And that's Johnny Marr. So the song that I want to put in 101 is a Smith song.
Okay.
I can't stand Morrissey. I really don't like him. And they released a song called "Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now."
Heaven knows I'm miserable now. Yeah.
I absolutely hate it. And it's just so. I mean, I'm saying it's depressing, so it must be depressing. It's so depressing. I can't stand it. I don't like him. I think this is the one he was waving a bunch of daisies round, and it's just an awful, awful song, and not my cup of tea at all. So
you know what? Something that's
the
even more even more. You're cheerful, Chris, and you wanting to put a Morrissey song in the in the thing that must be bad. So for that reason, it's going in.
Yes.
Good shout, George.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for, when we was in the Euros, England, and the World Cup and that, when people started singing that Southgate, you're the one.
Oh
Football's coming home again. I'm gonna go for that one, and also I'll stick Sweet Caroline in as well, because England fans need another song to sing. So if we get rid of that one, we might stop falling back on Sweet Caroline all the time. So I'll go for them too. Southgate, you're the one. And
is that the Sugar Babes?
Caroline.
Sugar Babes.
Yeah, the Sugar Babes one. Get rid of that, because I can't believe we was all singing Southgate, you're the one. Like, literally, he stumbled across the most talented squad England's ever seen. And somehow we played the worst possible football and won nothing. So I'm saying, if you don't put that one in, for saying Southgate, you're the one, then I don't know what else we're putting in. Sweet Caroline, maybe more controversial.
I'm not
it's overused. It's overused, Dave. Sweet Caroline is.
I know, but we're not putting Sweet Caroline in. But Southgate, you're the one.
All right, I'll take that 1 out of 2. It's not bad.
It's into room 101. Right then, back to the football. We're going to look ahead to Leicester now. The return of Connor Cody. They are officially relegated, and at the same time, we're going to be asking the chat, how high can Wolves finish? George, Leicester, Connor Cody coming back next week. I'm sure he'll get an absolutely fantastic reception. He's a proper bloke. Loves the Wolves. Would have come back in January if they could have done the deal. And he'll get a great reception at Wolves, no doubt about it. Obviously, whilst he's on the pitch for 90 minutes, he'll give his all for Leicester because he's a true pro. What you expect him? Can we make it 6 in a row, mate?
I think it's going to be a more difficult game than we're probably expecting. I think they played well the other day against Liverpool, only narrowly lost. And I think Vardy's come out with some words basically saying they've been an embarrassment this season. And now that it wouldn't surprise me if they get rid of Rude before it as well. And I think we might just see all the pressure all lifted off them and they'll put in a better performance. I do feel, though, that complacency isn't something that we've seen under Pereira. So I don't expect us to be complacent, but I think it'll be a tough game. And I think I could be totally wrong here and we slaughter them, but I'm not expecting us to go there and turn them over 3 or 4-0 and have a comfortable day. I think there's every chance we do win the game, but we're going to have to work hard to do it. I trust that Pereira will get us to do that. But I don't know. I'm going to go for, I'll go for a Wolves win, but maybe a tight one, 2-1, 1-0. I don't know. You've got to start to think about, we're safe now, and we've exerted a lot of energy in this run. I mean, there's every chance, just even subconsciously, we might take our foot off the gas, and they might just be, sometimes when you're just free of it all. And
funny enough, Emma said that earlier on. They've got nothing else to play for. They're no stressed because they're not, so they're going to go out and play.
But I think all the season we've looked at this game, haven't we? Like since January, saying this is going to be the one, this is going to be the one, and to be going into it, what are we, like 20 points clear of them and guaranteed
17.
safe.
Oh, yeah, it might be 20 points clear, actually.
They're a few points behind it. So it's just incredible, really. So I think there's a chance we win it. And if we do win it, you've seriously got to start to look at last season's finishing place and points total, because we got 46 points last season and we finished 14th. If we beat Leicester, you're looking at 41 points we'll be on with 4 games left to play and every chance of finishing 13th. I think if Pereira comes in and gets us on more points and a higher place finish than last season in what was considered a good season undergone, that will be the most staggering thing of all for me. It depends what we've got left in the tank. I did think Pereira himself, I think he did look a little tired after the United game. I don't know. I feel like maybe there might be that subconscious thing of job done now, and we might take our foot off the gas. I hope not, but it would be kind of natural if we did. But 13th is still there for the taking, and that would be a great finishing point. But a part of me also just thinks, just get this season over and done with now, because it's just all about next season and taking this. That's why we need to keep winning, I guess, to take this into next season. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's job done. So that might come across on the pitch. We'll see. I could be totally wrong, and we might be gunning for 13th. So you never know.
Do you know what I can see? He did look a little bit jaded, but then he still turned up in spoons apparently later on. Brian and 2 of our team, Brian and Becca, went to spoons, hoping he'd turn up.
They said they just missed him, in the chat.
And he came in 10 minutes after they left. I said he was probably waiting around the corner for him to leave or something like that, which was amazing. What a guy. I get what you're saying. I just don't think this manager is going to let them take their foot off the gas. I think he wants to keep that continuity. It'd be interesting to see Chris's take on this, mate. Now, go on, Chris.
I agree with George. Actually, I think that I think we'll beat Leicester. I think we've got far too much for them. I mean, don't forget in the first game we destroyed them at their place. You went there, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I didn't go, but from what I heard, we absolutely demolished them. They're a poor side. I don't think they're going to recover from their season magically overnight, because they're now relegated to come back and get anything in the game. And so I think we'll win, and win well at the weekend. I think if you look at them, what we've got to do, I don't think George is far wrong. I could see us, the only real 2 games I think we're going to possibly come up against it are probably Man City away and Palace away. Palace away, we could probably win there. So if you look at that and what we've got left, I think we could be better than we were last season. We could be 13. It could be confidence is a strange thing. If we win against Leicester, that's 6. Then we're going away to Man City. We've done well there at times when we've been up against it. So you never know. But I think it's just great that we're talking about potentially going to places like that and managing to win. Whereas we couldn't manage to stop goals going in at one point this season. So we mustn't lose sight of the fact of where we've come from, really. So I do think, I think 13's up for grabs, and I think 47, 48 points.
Which would be absolutely insane from where we were. We could never dream it, could we? That would be insane. Absolutely insane if we were to achieve that. Because less than 2-3 months ago, we were thinking the best we could out was 17th if we're lucky. And I remember talking.
The only fly in the ointment there, Dave, is that if we carry on as we have done, Vitter's going to be drinking his beer in the moon of the water out of the Premier League Manager of the Month trophy next in May, which is going to be a problem because obviously curse of the award sort of thing.
Well, to be honest, mate, he's definitely going to be in. It's surely for April. if he continues this sort of level of form, he's got to be in contention for Manager of the Month. I mean, since the job he's done is just it's ridiculous. That none of us, I don't think there's anyone would imagine that we'd be in this position. We were hoping that maybe when we get between 2 and 3 games to go, we'll be maybe clear. We didn't want to go into the last match of the season, but from the Ipswich game, really, we were safe, and now we are mathematically safe with 5 games to go. It's just an incredible job, and now we're above Tottenham. We're on level with United. 5 games ago, or 7 games, 6, 7 games ago, we were 13 points behind United, and now we're level, and we're above Tottenham, who are currently, I think, still losing to Forest, 2-0, which means we'll stay above them. It would be a phenomenal. And the other thing to bear in mind is that for every place we finish higher, Vitor Pereira has earned himself, and surely go to the board, an extra £2.5 million. If we finish 17th or 13th, that's 10 million extra in the revenue that we never really thought we were going to get. I'm sure they budgeted for finishing 17th, so that's an extra 10 million, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, it's not to be sniffed at, really. I mean, we're not in a dire financial position this year. The 65 million debt drops off, so
that's on top of player sales, isn't it?
It's all fingers point. Yeah, we've got all this, revenue from sales to go. If we sell Nori, I think Wang's going to go in the summer as well. To be honest, I don't think Vitor likes him. So if you look at what we could do, Guedes, Wang, Ran,
Fabio,
a lot of money. Fabio, I'm still not sure they won't try and use him again next year, but I mean, if
Vitor Pereira takes Fabio, and he wants him, that's good enough for me. George, I mean, what's your take on that?
I'll refuse to write Fabio off. I think if you look at what he's done this season over in Spain for a team worse than Celta Vigo, Las Palmas, they're fighting relegation. Celta Vigo mid-table. We got Strand Larsen last year with a decent record. He scored about 12 goals, I think. Fabio's performing at the same level as Strand Larsen was last year in Spain for a worse team. Atletico Madrid are looking at him, if rumours are to be believed. I mean, I can't understand people writing him off. We threw him in too soon. That's not his problem.
Yeah.
We paid 35 million for him. That's not his problem. The guy's 3 years younger than Strand Larsen. He's just put in a season that made us look last season and say Strand Larsen's a player that we like the look of, and Strand Larsen's come good. So to say Fabio Silva now get rid of him, for me, that's just too flippant. We've got a chance to put it right. I feel like in a way he's kind of been cursed in a Wolves shirt now through expectation, through other things, but I really think if there's anyone who can give him a clean slate and a fresh start and get rid of that baggage, then it's Pereira. I think he's a good player. I think he's a clever player, and I think he's a good finisher above all else as well. So I'd love to see Fabio given another chance.
Absolutely interesting. I trust Vitor to make that judgment. Guys, it's the time of the podcast now where you give, for the last 5 or 10 minutes, it's a Q&A for the panel. So bang your questions down. And whilst you bang the questions down, I've got an important question for cheerful Chris, which is very important that he gives us a very important update. Are you ready for this, Chris?
Go on then. What's it all about?
Fortuna Dusseldorf, your German team, how they're getting on?
Had a very close, Dave. We I think we're 5th at the moment. We played the 3rd place team, Elversberg, and drew away 1-1. Obviously, in that league, Bundesliga 2, the first 2 go up automatic, and the 3rd team gets in the playoffs, which is what Dusseldorf did last year. They went away to the and they do it differently, the playoffs. So the third team in the Bundesliga 2 plays the third bottom team in the Bundesliga. So third in the Championship would be playing third bottom in the Premier League. So Ipswich would be playing maybe Sheffield United this year. But they went away a 1-3-0 in the first leg, Dusseldorf.
Last
And I was
year. Oh,
thinking,
God, I remember that.
yeah, I was thinking that was it. We're gonna go up, and then we lost 3-0 at home and lost on penalties, which was a disaster. I thought they'd get a bit of a hangover. They sold the two best players, a guy called Christoph Zollis that I was desperate for us to sign. I even wrote to Matt Hobbs about him, but he just ignored me. He's gone to Genk and played in the Champions League this year. Played against England and ran rings around us at Wembley. And Ayo Tanaka, who was snapped up by Daniel Farker at Leeds and has been absolutely fantastic for him this season. And will be playing Premier League football next year. He kind of does what Bellegarde does for them. So it's kind of that role. But yeah, they've still got a chance. There's, I think, 4 games left, and they're I think a point off third place. I think first and second is out of reach, but it's not it's not insurmountable. They could go on a good run and get first or second, so it's all good.
It's very tight, isn't it? Well, I hope they do it for you this year, mate. I really do. That would be your perfect end of the season. Wolves on a run and them going up. First question that we've got here is from Jared Kelsey. Is Santi worth staying in the starting 11? I'll let you go first on this. Answer this, George. Or is it time for Giga to get more minutes he needs? Of course, I think Santi only got into the starting 11 because Doc had a bit of a niggle. He came on. I'm not sure if Doc's fit, whether either of them will start, George, but what's your take?
I'd still go Santi over Giga personally if Doc's not ready, because I think is that a legit argument to say get Giga ready for next season? I mean, who knows whether Giga's going to force his way into that starting 3. And you could argue that Doc probably isn't a long-term solution there anyway, so then why play him? You could argue Bueno's probably going to go. So you just play the best that's available right now for me. I think I think we've still got a little problem to solve there. I really do. I think we might just get one little centre back. I think this whole rebuild, like you said earlier, Dave, as long as we keep those 2 in the middle, Gomez and Andre.
Yerson Mascara as well.
Coming back, obviously as well. But I think we need to strengthen just one more. I'm being greedy now in defence, but look, as long as we keep those 2 in midfield and build around that strong core with the defence as well. Yeah, ideally we want to keep Semedo as well. But look, the rebuild can come around that strong foundation, can't it? I think if we keep that,
you need a strong spine, don't you?
Yeah, I think if we keep that strong spine, we'll be all right anyway. And just on the rebuild quickly, just from that Madley article again, he mentioned that Manetzi wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Pereira. You said it was inconceivable, which just showed, and he did mention that the influence now that Pereira's got over signings is like totally different to what it was like under O'Neill. Hobbs was probably in charge and given. And O'Neill maybe made a few suggestions, but he didn't really have much sway. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Manetzi was a Pereira signing. He said he wanted this guy, and they went and got him. They'd obviously been looking at him a bit before, but they'd presented him with some options, and he said, I want him. So I think that's promising for us to know that, look, the players coming in are going to be approved, and they're going to be Vitor's players.
Someone he wants rather than someone that he's just, here you go.
I think we all trust his judgment. We all trust his judgment. I think Manetzi's proven that. Agbadu's proven that. He was another one. Our first choice was originally Danzo, but Pereira, according to the article, said, no, my first choice is Agbadu. So in terms of judgment of players, we said for so long, Dave, so many times I came on this podcast before and said, we haven't got anyone in this club who knows football to make these big decisions. We've got a lot of businessmen. We had Gary O'Neill, but there was no one for me, a proper football man to make these decisions, who knows the game. And I think that's exactly what Pereira is. We've seen with the signings in January. So I feel in good hands with that. But I think back to the original question, just let's not worry about that yet. Anyway, let's just play the strongest team we've got available. I still think Bueno is a better option than Giga from what I've seen. So yeah, just let's finish as high as we can this season. Trust Pereira in the transfer window because I think he does hold more sway, and go for the rebuild because I think there will be a bit of a rebuild in the summer, despite what they've come out and said, saying that there's not going to be major business. I think there's going to have to be. You look at who we can name on our hand, probably 8-9 players who are probably going to leave. That's a bit of a rebuild, isn't it? But with Pereira at the helm,
it's more than just a little bit of evolution. It's going to be, this manager's wanting to build a team in his image. And I think there's definite movement. Before we go on to the next question, I'd quite like to get, as we're talking about that, Chris's take on that as well, what you've just said.
On Santi or on the whole?
On the whole of what George said, because he's made some really good points there, as always.
Yeah, I think for me, defensively, our top priority, I think now between now and June, is to retain the service of Semedo. I don't think Santi's going to get anywhere near the first three. I think he's a good backup player. He's being preferred to Jigger now. So Jigger's behind him in the pecking order. You can't not trust what Vitor's selected as the back four, back five. You look at the way we've changed under his stewardship, and we now have a team that defends. Even Norway looks a decent player because he's got that solidity behind him where he hasn't got to worry about defending, which he's not very good at. Yeah, although people see
the great clearance in the right space at the weekend though against United, he did well again.
People put stats on things, Dave. I mean, I read somewhere in the week that Norway was a better defender than Bueno, which is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. But people can make stats look at anything. I think with Yerson coming back in there, that's a very, very powerful back three. With Yerson, Totti, and Agbadu, we mustn't forget the importance of Agbadu and the solidity he brings to our back three. Everybody's talking about Totti now. The reason Totti's flourishing is because he's got this giant next to him that does everything. I know Totti cleared the ball from Højlund, the tackle, but last week at home, Agbadu did some kung fu karate weird run across the pitch, and I don't know what the running style he did, but he flew across and cleared the ball, and he's just a force multiplier for us and makes our defense a lot better. So I think we're in good shape. I am worried about losing Semedo, and I'm not so sure Lima's what we need. I think he's still a bit young. So yeah, but I do think it's going to be a pivotal summer. We've got a lot of changes I think is going to happen. We've got to buy properly. We've got to buy right. You can't criticise what we've done in January again. We've had another real strong January. We've made the right acquisitions. Let's hope Vita has the influence on what we've been doing to make that work in the summer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think just on Semedo, I think that they're desperate to get Semedo to re-sign, but I think he might be thinking, wants to go back to Portugal or something, or finish his career in the sun or something. But I think that if we do lose Semedo on a free, it's not going to come cheap to replace him. I agree. I don't think Lima's ready. I don't think Pereira thinks he's ready. And I don't see Gomez as ready to fulfill that role. I think it's a very mature role in this system. He's got a lot of responsibility. I like Gomez, Rodrigo Gomez as a player. but I don't think he's ready to. It's a real staple, those wing back roles. I think Bueno can step up on the left, but I think they're desperate to get Semedo to re-sign. I really do, because I think he's key, and replacing him will be tough.
I think so. And like you say, the role that he plays since he's taken over as captain, if you read their article as well in The Athletic, they were talking about how he's taken it on, how he's organised things with the players, how he's gelled them together. It's not just about the role he plays on the pitch. He's really stepped up quietly and done a really, really good job. The only one thing I will say is that Semedo's mindset might have changed over the last 2 or 3 months, because he's got that extra responsibility, because he can see that he's playing under someone that really believes in him and the team spirit's back. And whereas initially he'd be thinking, oh, I've got to get out of here, he might now think, I'm the captain of a Premier League club that's moving forward, and I might sign for another 2 years, because he'll still get a big payday in Saudi or somewhere like that in 2 years' time.
He's only 31, isn't he? So
yeah, he's still only young, so he's still going to have that. He's still going to have that opportunity. And I just think a lot of it will be down to his relationship with Vitor Pereira and what his agent's putting in front of him. But I think he's the one that I think he was set on going, but he might be just changing his mind a little bit because of how things have changed. And it's a big decision, but just pay him the money, save the money on having to spend millions on trying to get a quality equal relationship. You might as well you haven't got to pay out 15, 20 million to sign him. He's there already. Just give him a bit of a pay rise if he needs it, and just keep him. Chris, you're nodding there.
Look, we shouldn't break the bank with him. We shouldn't be able to answer. I think he's one of the highest earners we've got anyway, to be fair.
Yeah, he is.
You know, I think football's changed a bit from when he got his contract, and I'm maybe not so sure he would command that wage anyway now. So, I think we should be trying to keep him, or we need to be, you know, if not, that's going to be a key position we're going to have to fill in the summer.
Absolutely. I think we've done this one before. Quick one. Anyone want to comment on this? If Ferguson were to sell it, would you like the next owners? I don't think it's imminent that that's going to happen anyway. There's lots of plans afoot in terms of the 150th anniversary going on behind the scenes. It would take obviously a big offer, but like the main people that are offering money these days seem to be American investors. Chris, is that fair to say?
Yeah, American or Middle East, isn't it? That's where the crazy money exists. I mean, you know, it's difficult to find somebody that would take it on and you know, do everything we want to, spend hundreds of millions of pounds on players and build a 100,000 seater stadium in the middle of, you know, M54 or whatever. It's just not. Those people don't grow on trees. So I tell you, somebody who I've got a lot of respect for that's having another sport that I quite like, which is boxing. The guy called Turki Al-Sheikh, who's running the Saudi money in boxing, that's taking on the Riyadh season and having all these big fights, and he's quite prominent in giving boxing a good lift, and he's wrestled the promotion game away from the biggies like Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. He's done a really good job in that. If he was to want to own a football club, I'd quite like him to own Wolves, but I don't think that's going to happen. So it's difficult to answer that question.
It is. Colin wants to know from George, would you like us to sign Delap from Ipswich if we could?
Yeah, I said this a few weeks. I think it was last month, a couple of months ago. You asked who would I sign if he's available. I don't know what he's available for now. Someone put in the chat when I said it first time, he was like 60 million, but I've seen things since saying he's available for 30 million or something. I think he seems like he's saying he wants a European. Oh, is it? Well, he seemed like he's saying he wants European football or something. Look, I think he's a great player. I'd love him at Wolves. I don't see it happening, but the answer to that is yes, I would love us to sign him, but I don't think we will.
Cool. Chris, Neil Lewis, would you take De Bruyne over Andre or Joe Gomez?
No, I'd take him with them, but I wouldn't take him over them. I'd play him in front of those two.
Fair comments. Trudy Price, one of our members, George and Chris, if you've got any idea on this, what goalkeeper would the panel like to sign in the summer?
Thibaut Courtois.
Courtois, that would be a good one. Have him. Chris, any thoughts?
I think we should make a move for Kelleher from Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Is he like number 2 there at the moment?
Yeah, he wants to leave in the summer, and I think he's a good keeper. He'd be worth signing. I'd have him as a number 1, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Stephen Palmer, George. I know we've talked briefly about this. Should we try and keep Sarabia if possible?
Yes, I think we should. I think Sarabia is ready to go though now. I think he's done his time at Wolves. I think he's always served us well. He's obviously been a bit more bit part this season. But I think he's generally more suited to a slower league. But no, I think he served us well, and I think he's going to. I'd be amazed if he re-signs. That would just be showing exactly what the effect of Pereira is. But should we try? I don't know if we will. I think it's probably one of those mutual things where all parties are like, he's come in, he's doing a good job for us over the last two or three seasons, brought a bit of quality, but it's probably just time for all parties to move on. That's how I feel about the Sarabia situation. But I've always thought he's a great player, great left foot, great technical player.
Absolutely. Chris, from JS96, Tommy Doyle, keep or sell or loan?
Tommy Doyle's going to leave in the summer. I think he's not getting the opportunities. Vitor, look, we come on there every week, Dave, and we're talking about Joe Gomez or Andre in midfield being brilliant. He's really not going to get on. He's not going to get in that. He's not going to break into there. And I think Vitor said he sees him more as a 10 than a midfielder. And I just don't see a place for him. I think he'll move on in the summer.
George, any thoughts on that?
I think he's going to go because he can't find his place in this system. I don't think it's any more complicated than that. I think Pereira likes him as a character. I think he's a good, solid professional. Just doesn't suit Pereira's system. I think that's the long and short of it, isn't it?
That's probably where you're at. I mean, obviously, as you know,
I think Dave, you're gonna have to have a word with Moss because every time he has a player and likes them, he gets a shirt off them, they end up going. So he's not allowed. He's not allowed to have a favourite anymore.
I know.
I'll tell him on Saturday when I see him.
You know, my dad loves Tommy Doyle, and they've got a great family as well.
He's 24.
He wants to be playing.
He's 24. He's not playing football. Yeah, he's not playing football. He's gonna have to find a move, isn't he, mate? If he's gonna make his career what he wants it to be, he can't stay here not playing. I think he's gonna have to go, isn't he?
I don't think he'll drop to the Championship either. I think he'll probably go to one of the clubs that come up.
Well, if Sheffield United gets promoted, he'll go back there. I would have thought, but I mean, whether it's permanent or a loan, we don't know. I mean, he's on the bench again the weekend, but he's not getting on the pitch, is he? So I know he's going to be feeling probably very frustrated. Hopefully, we're going to get a chance to meet Tommy at some point because Tommy Doyle's been lovely to my family and to my dad, and he said he wants us to get together at some point. So hopefully that'll be before he goes somewhere else. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that one. I'm just having a quick look. With Andrew, Chris, we've done the where do we think we'll finish? I'm looking down here anymore because there's loads of questions, but I think we're just about done, everyone. Yeah, Carl, what improvements do you think Wolves will? We've covered most of these things off. So look, guys, thanks ever so much for joining us tonight. Thanks for Lucy for jumping on. Thanks for you guys in the chat. Thanks for if you sent in the videos as well. Chris and George, make sure you do check out the alwayswolves.co.uk website. There's loads of great articles, player ratings, fan thoughts, things learned, reports, and some deep dive articles from George as well, which are really, really good long reads. The sort of read you'd find on The Athletic and stuff like that. So make sure you go and check them out on alwayswolves.co.uk. And any final thoughts, George and Chris, before we shoot off?
No, I haven't got any final thoughts other than when was the last time we won 6 in a row? I think I saw someone say in the chat 1958. So honestly, if we do that against Leicester, then you're breaking some serious records now, which you can say what you want about the quality of teams we've played. We've played bad teams before. It all disappears. If we win 6 in a row, that hasn't happened for, 70 years? How many years is that? 60 years. 60 years, isn't it? 65 years.
67 years. Which, if that's true,
that's what we're on the brink of now. We're on the brink of under Pereira, which is brilliant.
I know, Chris. Any final thoughts?
I think Dave, we just got to echo. Fantastic appointment. He's come in, he's done what he needed to do. He's got us that unity as a club with the supporters and the team back, which is what Wolves is all about, and it's great that that's happened. But focus now has to be on the summer. We can't get ourselves into this position again. So we've got a manager. Let's back him. Don't want to see this manager walk away in the summer because it hasn't gone to plan and promises haven't been made and all of this shenanigans we've had.
I can't see that happening.
It seems it seems to happen every summer. Let's not hope it doesn't this time.
I agree.
He gets to implement what he needs to. He gets a budget that he can work with. We get the right players in the right positions, and we can have a good season next season because that's all we want as supporters, really.
No, I agree, mate. It's absolutely vital that lessons have learned. Just before we finish, I forgot to remind everyone that the Leicester game from midday, you can get down to Ghent in Wolverhampton. They've got the electronic darts and the shuffleboard. You can get 25% off your food and drink with a match ticket until 5 hours after kickoff as well. I'll hopefully see some of you guys in there. But yeah, Chris, I absolutely do agree with you totally. And George, it's like the summer's going to be massive. The supporters are going to be looking at the board to have learned these lessons, have listened, freeze the season tickets, sort that out, do what you say, learn the lessons from the past and make sure that we don't make the same mistake as when you had Nuno in the building and he wanted that extra backing to take us to the next level. It didn't come, and then look where we've been since. Seems like we've dropped on a guy here that has got something and really wants to make a success. This is what he's worked his whole life for to get here. He's given everything to the club, and all he needs is the backing. He's got the fans on side. He's got the players on side. He's brought back this togetherness we haven't seen really since Nuno. And if we give him the backing, magical things could happen. Magical things. Anyway, from myself, Chris, and George, thanks again, of course, to Creation Wolf for powering the show. Until the next one, always Wolves.